Hello everybody, and welcome to my very first TV show review, starting with Netflix's Skylanders Academy. Now also, I don't know if my mic's actually sounding good or not. This is a big worry for streaming. I may have to revert back to my other mic if I stream, just because this one doesn't seem to want to get loud enough on my computer. Weird. Anyway, so yeah, welcome to Skylanders Academy. And this review system is going to be working a bit differently than all the others. This one, I'm going to go by episode. I'm going to review each episode individually, then give a rating on each episode, letter-wise, and then a rating over each season, and then a rating over the entirety of the series so far. So like once I'll probably give a rating after Season 2 is complete, for both Season 1 and Season 2 combined. Maybe not. Because the thing is, right now, Season 3 is finished, and we don't know if there's going to be a fourth one, so once I get to that point, I'll say, right now, this stands at this letter grade. So anyway, there will be spoilers filled. I couldn't figure out a way to do a review system for this, other than the way I'm doing it. So, there will be no non-spoiler review. We're just going at it. Also, this is not a reaction. This is just me talking about it. So, we start off, and this is kind of odd as well. There's a narrator for the beginning of this. And the narrator, I don't think ever comes up again. Maybe at the end of Season 1, but it's just a quick little thing that happens and then gone. But then it starts with young Spyro cracking out of his egg, and he gets attacked by, or gets bothered by, I can't remember what they're called, but some creatures, and they want to eat him, but he fights back and beats them, and then Eco comes and gives him a corn dog and takes him away. That's how he met Master Ego? Not Ego. Eon. I'm thinking Guardians of the Galaxy. Ego. No. Eon. And kind of odd. It's kind of the most random thing in the entire series, because there's not many flashbacks to when they were younger, and it's the only time we see anything about young Spyro, and it happened so quickly. But it was kind of cool to see him young. His voice was really odd. But then it cuts to the Skylanders theme song, and there are two different versions of the animation for it. They stick with the same song for the entirety of all three seasons so far. And I think I like this. The first one's interesting because the one that you saw before the video started was only for the first season. The second and third season have a different one. And by the way, I have it on in the background, not listening to it, just looking at it. And Eon walks away and says, "You are very special. You're a very special dragon," which is kind of obvious. And then we have, what's his name?
They are not harmless. They are
This
harmful.
scene.
They are literally full of harm. Did you see that? Oh, tell me you all saw that.
This is a sheep thing.
I don't mean one therapist. You need a team. Yo, what's happening today?
His assistant, I don't remember who his assistant, Eon's assistant is, but he's completely terrified of sheep. And you get introduced to there. And we have Spyro introducing himself to all the new cadets, and him being self-full, not selfless. He's all about himself. He's self-centered. He's like, "I'm the best. Here's a picture of my butt. Go ahead. You all love me. I'm the best. You're good too, but I'm the best," kind of attitude. And that is really interesting, because you don't normally see Spyro like that. But I mean, honestly, if you were Spyro, I think we'd all probably act the way he acts, because he's really cool. And we also meet, what's his name? We have Stealth Elf, And we have The Rock, which I don't remember his name at the moment. It was at the beginning in the opening scene there. The theme song, which I'll play each episode. Probably. But he is on the right side there. And then Stuff Elf is on the left. And, Spyro just wrote, Spyro wins in the sky, showing again that he has a very big ego. See, there's where it comes in. He's very self-centered, which is his first challenge to face. I feel like this episode more or less is Spyro trying to become more part of a team, because this is one of the odd episodes out of this series. Every other one, Spyro, Stealth Elf, and... Hold on, I have to figure out who he is. Hold on, I'm trying... Eruptor, that's who it is. Hugo! That's who the assistant was. His name was Hugo. So, Eruptor has an anger management issue, which will come up in a later episode. It kind of shows it in this one. But it's mainly about Spyro getting over his selfishness and trying to work more as a team. We're introduced to Jetvac as well in the scene that I'm in. He ends up giving everyone a pop quiz because scene I'm in Skylanders Academy now. Again, I can't show this because I'd probably show it if I could. I can't. And the reason being is partially probably because it get copyrighted. But that's not it. It's because I'm watching it on the Netflix app, and I can't screen record the Netflix app for some odd reason, because it doesn't really want to work. It just gets a black screen. So I just can't do it. So that's why I just have an image on screen. So what scene is this? So we see the back of Master Eon right now, and Hugo's coming running in. So whatever Hugo was doing, I don't remember this scene in particular. But this series, this is a good starting point, I'd say. Oh, beard spray. Right. Okay. Master Eon is obsessed with his beard. Like, obsessed. Oh, and yeah, this is Spyro talking to Master Eon about his failed pop quiz. He got a D-. Well, I guess it's not failed. He passed, but still, it's really low. And with this episode, there is a villain that will come into context later, which is the overall villain, not villain of the entire series. And for this, though, this episode, when I first saw it, really showed me that they were focusing more heavily upon Spyro, or at least in this instance, this episode was about Spyro, which makes sense. Because it is. And I think a lot of people, when they went to the series, it's kind of like a Spyro TV show. Spyro's in it a lot. And it's kind of more focused on Spyro than Eruptor or Stealth Elf. Now, sometimes these characters will have their episodes. Spyro's, I think, in every single episode. I don't think he's... Yeah, no, Spyro is definitely in every episode. Even if Stealth Elf or Eruptor are not. But normally, where Spyro is, Stealth Elf and Eruptor are also there. So you normally see them alongside Spyro, and that's kind of what the image that's on screen represents, obviously. And they're a slapstick comedy, like what just happened in the part of the episode that is now currently playing for me. There was a book of all the drawn Skylanders, and Spyro touches it, and another flashback. So I guess we do have multiple flashbacks in the first episode, which is kind of cool. But he touches the book, and Master Eon pulls like the switch, which electrifies the book, electrifying Spyro, just as like a joke. There are a lot of slapstick jokes and just jokes in general in this series. So if you like that kind of thing, you will like this series, as well as Spyro. I just like the way Spyro looks as well. The texture of his scales and his horns, and the mixture of purple and orange, which is what I've always liked about Spyro, is his color scheme. Now, definitely though, I don't know how much they wanted him to come across as self-centered, because they definitely use a lot of it, and sometimes it pulls me out of the episode. Him being very, very self-centered. But that's the whole point of this, because this is also a 40-minute episode. The episodes are normally like 20 minutes. This is like a double-length episode, as the opening episode. Now, I also don't kind of understand why they didn't just have this be one long thing. It's a TV show, I understand, but it also was released all at once on Netflix. Like, season 1 was released all at once, season 2 was released all at once, and season 3 was released all at once. Not all at the same time, but yeah. So, I'm gonna go ahead and skip ahead a little bit, so I can see. Right then, as soon as we're done with that conversation, we get introduced to Kaos and Glumshanks. Kaos is, as I said, the big baddie, quote unquote big baddie, and you'll see why. He's a doofus. He fails at everything he attempts. We'll meet his mother in a later episode, possibly in this one. And Glumshanks is his troll servant, whom he slaps around and sprays stuff on, sticks stuff in his ears, and not brutalizes him, but attacks him and smacks him and stuff like that, which seems to make Kaos happier because, oh, he's evil. So, but and his main goal is to destroy the Skylands and the Skylanders. Pretty obvious. And I'm pretty sure as well, people know Skylanders Academy pretty well, because not Academy itself, but the characters, because they are the Skylander games? I don't know. Can't remember which game. I don't know what it's called though. I know there are games based off of these characters and such. I just don't know what they're called, because I don't think they're called Skylanders. Maybe they are. And now, Stealth Elf and Eruptor are practicing for their final test, because they really want to be Skylanders, and they're okay working with a team when Spyro isn't. And you can see a constant theme throughout this episode. Yes, it's very It's not going to be difficult to tell what each episode's about. And Stealth Elf has this ability to not really teleport, but like run fast, if you will. It just looks like she's teleporting. Apologize for the yawning as well. I do that a lot when I record. I don't know why. And then Spyro has a party at their house, and again, representing he's self-centered, he is not responsible, the exact opposite of what a Skylander is. And a lot of this episode is just kind of fun. Now, I enjoy it, but once they're done with the party, Spyro is kind of sleeping on top of the house for some reason, because I guess by the end of the party he was on top of the house. He falls off into a bush, and he misses most of the training. And I believe he gets there right at the end of both Eruptor and Stealth Elf doing theirs, and is just able to do his. But, oh. So yeah, so then next, Eruptor and Stealth Elf go ahead and do their thing. And Glumshanks and Kaos are doing their thing, getting ready to attack the Skylanders during this. And Spyro gets woken up, and he gets there just in time before it ends, And then he goes ahead and I believe he does his. Let's see.
Stretch the old wings, and then we can.
And as you heard, Master Eon said begin now, and he is not doing too good. He thinks he's doing good, but then he hadn't practiced at all, so he's not nearly ready and capable for this test. And as Jeff said earlier in the episode, that he couldn't always survive on pure talent. And that's exactly right. Sorry, I'm pulling off a band-aid and it hurts. Okay. Sorry, I don't know why I said that. So Kaos and Glumshanks are just kind of waiting until the new Skylanders get drawn in the book. Because if he's planning on freezing the book, and if he freezes the book, it'll freeze all the Skylanders who are in the written in the book. Because I guess it kind of controls them. I don't know. And that's exactly what he does. Spyro fails. Everyone else gets drawn and Spyro fails. And Spyro kind of just lazes around for a long time because he's very, very upset. And he has to go another year in school and whatnot. And then he writes in the sky congrats Eruptor and all the people, his friends that get it, and then he writes Spyro very big, still saying that he's not really he hasn't gotten past his selfish self yet, which is still a problem. And then they go ahead, Kaos and Glumshanks come in. Kaos gets the book and freezes the book and freezes all of the Skylanders in the book, I believe. Oh, well, apparently he took a hole puncher and poked holes in Eruptor's pitcher, which poked holes in Eruptor. Apparently. Some things in this will not make sense. So he freezes them, and then they all run off. And he takes Mr. Eon's precious podium. And then Spyro finds all the Skylanders frozen, and then it's up to him to go fight Kaos. And this is the point in which that he kind of gets over his selfishness, and he unfreezes, because he knows he can't beat Kaos on his own, so he unfreezes the book. And because he unfreezes the book, all of his friends can come and help him. And that kind of shows that he's not trying to take everything on by himself anymore. He's willing to have other people help him. And he still will have that bit of, oh, selfish me, because, he does this thing where he's when he's getting drawn in the book, he's like, oh, make sure you get my good side. What am I talking about? All my sides are good. Something like that. And it really does show that he got over himself. If that makes sense. Because actually, I skipped ahead a little bit. He gets stuck in a big energy ball that Kaos throws at him. And then once he escapes from that and unfreezes the book, it's him getting help. And that's what he really needs. I don't know why I'm describing this way. This is what the series is going to be. I wanted to talk about it. Some of the episodes are more interesting than some of them, and some of them I'll have to talk more. Now, as much as I like this episode, and it's a great start, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't call it the best episode. Because it's not the best episode. And does he unfreeze the book? I think he does. Yeah, he does. But they have this battle. Spyro's, throwing his flames, and then Kaos is using his electric evil power thing, and they're having this back and forth duel thing. Oh, and then he uses the trap that Yeah, he uses the trap that Mr. Eon used on him, on Kaos. So he seems to be a bit stubborn, and I kind of like that, actually. Oh, more slapstick stuff happening. But he's stubborn and doesn't want to... He wants to save his friends, but he doesn't realize that if he just unfreezes the book and gets their help, it'll all be better. And as I said, the whole point of this episode is that he gets over himself. Weird way to say it, but he gets over himself. And he's willing to work as a team. Now, he'll still always kind of have that joke. Oh, I'm the best thing because that's Spyro. He's a kidster. But of course, once they do unfreeze their friends, unfortunately, Master Eon's beard was broken because of Kaos. Kaos came over and snapped off some of his beard. His poor beard. Oh no, end of the world. And Spyro could not do it by himself, so now they're like dragging Spyro off for some reason, Kaos and Glumshanks, but all his friends come and save him because he was willing to let them, willing to unfreeze them and realize that he could not do it by itself. Now this seems dumb and I know repetitive, but honestly it's one of those kind of shows story-wise. More slapstick stuff, as I said. There's a lot of that in this show. I know you can't see anything, that's why I'm describing it. Oh, hey, a sheep. I don't know why. There was just a sheep on screen. I said, sheep on screen? Screen. So, and then after that, he gets drawn in the book as he becomes an official Skylander because he, you know, because of what he learned and whatnot. They actually put him, they made him an official Skylander. So, the first episode, I have to give it credit because it's the only episode in the series where Spyro is not a Skylander. And as the title says, Skylanders Unite kind of represents them all becoming new Skylanders for this series, which they could honestly, if Spyro ever would have children, which is probably a freaking awful idea, don't do it, but they could continue the show with a whole new group of people if they wanted to, if they are done with Spyro and Eruptor and Stuff Elf and all of them, but I want them to do a 4th season and a 5th season and a 6th season. I want them to keep on going because it's a really good show. I really do like it. And then, of course, I think Kaos has a map to the core. Oh, he also writes Skylanders Unite. Or Skylanders Win in the sky. So, showing, again, that he got over selfishness. So yeah, Kaos realizes that he found a map to the core of light when he was in Skylanders Academy, and now his goal is to take it and destroy the core of light. And then we have credits, roll credits. So, it wasn't the most interesting way for me to explain the episode, because again, what I should have said at the beginning is, if you're still here now, watch it first. Seriously, don't listen to me talk about it. Watch it. If you're interested and you want to hear my opinion, you can come back and you can listen to me explain it. But it's a really dang good show, and you should watch it. It's on Netflix. If you have Netflix, try it. If you have a free trial, try it. Honestly, the one issue I have about this show is that most of the episodes are pretty short. You can get through all 3 seasons in about 12 hours. Probably. Roughly. Half a day. Bit longer than that. If you're Saturday and you have nothing else to do, watch it. You can get through most of it, if not all of it, in a day or two, and you get a month free trial, so if you haven't used it yet. So, I would say watch it. Now for the rating. This episode is really good. Like, it introduces us to the characters well without, making it completely obvious that it's an introduction episode. Which is good. This background Spyro stuff was really cool to see. I just wish there was more because there was not nearly enough. So I'm gonna give. So Season 1, Episode 1, Skylanders Unite, a B-. Not a fantastic episode, but I do enjoy it. Now, listen, I enjoy all these episodes. There will be some that you'll see me give it a low grade. And that is because I enjoyed the episode, but it just did not seem fit. I have an episode particularly in mind that it just did not fit well with me. There were some parts I liked about it, and it connected well. And there's another episode that I'm thinking about that's way at the end that I was like, this came out of left field. What the heck? I enjoyed it as a solo episode, but when you start thinking about the story, it just does not make sense. You could have done something way more cooler and gotten an entire another season out of it. That would have been really, really cool. So, kind of wish they'd go back and change it. But, oh well. So yeah, Episode 1, Season 1, Skylanders Unite! Can't believe I said that. Anyway, that's Episode 1, and it's a good episode. It is a good episode. Strong start, but just as a solo episode, I didn't like it as much as some of the other ones that get later on. I have a few in mind that I'm like, yeah. I have a few in mind that I'm like, ooh, that was good. And I have, oh, that was amazing thoughts. So, the solo ratings that I'm giving each episode are the episode ratings. I will give a season rating again at the end of the season, and then I'll give a series rating, which many people probably already know what I'm going to give this series as a whole. It's hard for me not to, since I loved it so much. But I will judge it accordingly as I go through, and who knows, by the end of this, my thoughts may change. This is not only a way for me to get my how I feel about the series out to you guys, but it's also a way for me to review what I think about the series. And by reviewing it, it allows me to say, hey, do I actually like it as much as I'm saying I like it, if that makes sense. But anyway, that is going to do it for this episode. So thank you guys so much for watching. I do not know yet what I'm doing for the outro for this, because it's going to be a series, so we'll see. Maybe I'll play the opening song again. I don't know. Depends on if it gets copyrighted when I upload it. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.